apologize to our next guest. We have not had him on since this whole Ferguson situation began, but he, of course, has been busy trying to keep peace in Ferguson, and we've been busy trying to cover him. The mayor of Ferguson, Mr. James Knowles. James, welcome to Big 550 KTRS here in St. Louis.
Morning, McGraw.
Let's first talk about your conversation, which garnered a lot of national attention the night the decision was released. We hear the story, and you've sort of told it other places, that you tried to get a hold of Governor Nixon to sort of invoke his rights to bring in the National Guard. Tell us that story.
Sure. So I was told early on that the National Guard would be there, be present out at the Ferguson Police Department. Somehow those plans continued to evolve and change to where they were supposed to be at the command center in case they were needed for anything that may go awry. And of course, as you saw, it surely did. And I contacted our chief, contacted the Unified Command and said, hey, when are you going to get these National Guard guys out there? And they said, look, we're working on it. We've requested. It's coming. You know, that's at like 10:30. By the time 11:30 or so came around, I was told that they were not coming. And so I called every state office holder, every federal office holder that I knew. I know them all, and got answers out of almost every one of them, or at least got an answer from every one of them. But none of them, including myself, could get through to the governor. And so around 2 a.m., it might have been about 1 o'clock, I think, when Senator McCaskill told me that she had gotten through, I think, to the National Guard themselves, and they told us that they were coming. They didn't show up till after 2 o'clock, though. By that time, the damage was done.
So did you ever get a hold of Governor Nixon?
To this day, I have not spoken to him or his office since this happened.
You've not spoken to Governor Nixon since it started? Have they?
No.
No one from his office?
Not since last Monday. I haven't spoken to anybody from his office in quite a while. But since this all started last Monday, or I should say started back up, I have not spoken to him or his office.
What about from when this happened in August? How much contact have you had with the governor's office since August?
You know, I think it was frustrating because the first time I saw the governor was on TV, standing next to Charlie and Mayor Slay, standing in my community talking about what happened. And I reached out to whoever I knew at the time. I've met a few other staff people since then. And then started reaching out to my state senators, state legislators. Well, not my state senator, because I wasn't going to get through to Maria Chappelle-Nadal. But I contacted some of the other state senators that I was close to in the Democratic Party, and they tried to help me get through to him. Eventually, I was able to sit down in a large group of other people with the governor on a couple occasions, but that's the extent of the contact that I've had with him or his office.
Why would you not able to speak with your state representative, Maria Chappelle-Nadal?
Well, I mean, I think I don't know how productive it would have been. She's not close to the governor, clearly.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Have you worked with her at all? Have you worked with her at all? Do you and her have a decent working relationship?
Yeah, I've known Maria for almost 15 years. She was a secretary in the lieutenant governor's office when I worked in the state legislature as a staff person, and we had I would have concerned me as a really good relationship up until this. But she kind of has gone rogue out there doing her own thing. She hasn't reached out to me.
Yeah.
And seeing her comments out there, I don't know how productive she's been for this community.
Mayor Knowles, how close is your relationship with Police Chief Jackson, and how closely do you work together now?
I mean, in our form of government, he doesn't directly report to me, but for the past 4 years, we've had a great deal of interaction about what we'd like to see done in the police department. He's made a tremendous change already, really improving the morale and bringing the police department to a much more professional level. I think he's done a tremendous job, obviously. There are some people that agree, some people that disagree, but as a person, there's not a more honorable person that I know out there.
So I know this is a question for him, but I'll ask you this question. We have requests in when he gets a chance to come and visit us. I saw him on Sean Hannity on Fox News the other day, and at the end of the interview, he mentioned to Sean Hannity, and Mr. Hannity didn't pick it up, but I thought it was quite interesting. He said that there was a plan in place, and everyone signed off on the plan, and then at the last minute, the plan changed, and no one knows why. Is that your recollection? Is that what happened as planning for all this took place?
Well, I can tell you that, throughout this, I've gotten regular updates from the chief and had taken great interest in what was being planned. It seemed to me that what I was getting on a regular basis kept evolving. And I can tell you, up and until the day, onto that Monday, I was going to roll call, standing and shaking hands with every officer heading out onto that street and listening to the updates. And you're right. These guys were getting updated on the changes almost daily of what was being changed or what was being tweaked, what the rules were and who would be showing up. I don't know why that was. But I do know that throughout the past several weeks leading up to this, the role of the National Guard, what we were expecting, what I know to have been requested, evolved greatly.
So on the national scene, Ferguson has been depicted as the most racist place in America. People have gone on national television and tell us how terrible Ferguson is. The people who live there, some have said how terrible it is. But the people also that we're hearing from Ferguson say, hey, you know what? This is a great community. We're being depicted as something that we aren't. Was there a study done, Mayor Knowles, of Ferguson about the annexation? You guys were looking to annex something, and wasn't there a study done right before all of this took place? And didn't that study say, and I'm paraphrasing, you might know better than I am, that the Ferguson Police Department was supported by the city of Ferguson by like 95% or something like that?
Well, yeah, I think the ratings were, poor, fair, good, and excellent. And the good and excellent, which is a pretty loud appraisal, it was in the 65, I think, percent range. And then some people thought fair and some people thought good. And that's pretty darn good numbers for any department, especially because we also did that survey also went into unincorporated St. Louis County to see what their residents that we wish to annex thought about their police and public works and everything else. And I can tell you that ours far exceeded the what their residents gave their own, county services. So we were pretty confident going into this annexation that people thought very highly of us, and that we might be a step up to those we wish to annex. Somehow, in August, we became the ire of everybody who was ever angry with law enforcement or ever angry with North County courts. We became the focus, and we've got some things that we all have to work on. But I think a lot of things were lumped on us unfairly.
Your parents have been the target of Anonymous, and you have as well, I believe. What's the situation with that now?
Well, even as late as last week, my folks had told me that there was still some attempts to withdraw money and or transfer funds from one account to another. I've had to get all new credit cards, debit cards, and bank account information. Though I hadn't experienced anything, luckily myself, that information was supposed to be out there. I was able to get ahead of it. But it's a huge distraction. It's something that when you're focused on trying to serve the community and move us forward, bring people together, but at the same time, you're getting calls saying that payments aren't going through, and you've got to deal with your own financial issues to make sure that you're not that my family's taken care of because of what they're trying to do. It's a huge distraction. Luckily, so far we haven't had anything that I or my parents haven't been able to recover.
James Knowles, Mayor of Ferguson. Mr. Knowles, thank you for joining us. Sorry it's been so long to get you on, but hopefully we get you on a more regular basis from now on.
I listen to you almost every morning, so I appreciate it.
Hey, you're the one. All right. Finally glad to meet the one person who actually listens. Mayor Knowles, be safe out there. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, McGraw.
7:31 here, Big 550,